Hello traders, Dadas here, talking to you from the Dadas trading room on the Discord platform. So I sincerely invite you. I stream there every day. Practically all my trades, simply I stream my screen so you can see what's happening on my screen. You can also talk to me or ask me questions either by text chat or by voice chat. There's a voice channel, of course, a video channel. So there's even a camera channel, but I don't use the camera channel. So okay, so there are lots of opportunities for you. Okay, now let's talk about what happened on the DAX 30 today, and generally what happened. Like if you have been watching, you know that the situation from yesterday was that I've got myself in a pretty big mess and pretty big trouble, and I had declared that if my capital drops back to my initial capital, so my balance drops back to, or my equity drops down back to my initial capital, I'm gonna close all my losses and start over anew. So that's exactly what happened today, because like you see, I turned around yesterday and I turned around long, but the price refused to go, the market refused to go higher. It went lower. Then when I woke up, I saw that I was basically pretty much at my well, I think it turned out that I closed at about $5 over my capital, above my initial capital of $2,000. So yeah, so I closed it, and that's something that should be forgotten right now, and I continue and I go on as previously. So as we see, the market went down initially and then came back up, retraced from the downwards movement, and then started going down again. So basically, you see, I got up a bit earlier than usual today. So I was actually watching the opening of the Frankfurt session, and then I was watching the opening of the London session, and that's basically why I decided to get in a short right here, because the price was going down, right? Like I saw a possibility of continuation right there. I counted on a little bit more than the market gave us right here. I thought that perhaps they would be going for a new low, but after this initial promising movement, the market came back, and then it started sort of went down, made a double bottom, and started going back up again. So I said no, I'm getting out of this. That's it. So I got out of it, and the market turned around. So I thought now it's going to be a long, because it basically looked like support. The market is going long, and it was actually going long. The only problem was that the first 5 minutes on the London opening was pretty crazy. I mean, this candle started jumping up and down, 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 and pretty violently. So I thought to myself, well, I'm not really certain right now what's happening, because this could be a continuation of the short right here, because basically this candle is pretty much naked. So there wasn't any demand on this candle, only supply, or mostly supply. So I really wasn't sure, so I got out of it again at some profit. Well, nevertheless, you see that the market continued up. Well, didn't exactly reach my take profit right there, and it started consolidating. Now right here there was a nice pattern, right? A nice pattern suggesting the market would go up. So there was a pretty much naked demand zone, support right here. The market started going up, but again it didn't. It almost reached the take profit point and started moving back, aggressively moving back down. So I got out of it again because this time I'm not gonna let, if I have the opportunity, I won't let myself to wait so long for some stupid loss, right? Okay, so then the market went back a little bit lower, but still in a consolidation, and bounced off upwards, right? So this was a clear bounce off. Still in we can see that market is still here in a bullish trend because it's making higher lows and higher highs. So I jumped in right here, and this was a very nice trade that I was able to hold out, and I got my take profit. I got my take profit where the take profit was. The market continued, and basically what we see now. Why did I decide to go in long right here? Because basically the pattern is almost identical to this one right here. This pattern is almost identical. I mean, the candles are not identical, but the pattern is identical. There's a higher low and a higher high, so the trend is still up, right? So I decided to get in like this. Well, I got in like this. I got it at a usual price. My take profit was there. I was pretty initially I was pretty hopeful, but all of a sudden the price started going in the opposite direction. Now I actually didn't because this is where the stop loss was. The way the price was moving, I thought to myself that there is no chance to defend this stop loss level, so I basically got out because I didn't want to lose this whole trade, right? So you see, this was 0.9 lots at 28.13 pips. This is 0.8 lots at 28.11 pips loss. So altogether there was still a small profit on this trade left, right? So on those two trades. Now looking at what was happening right there, I still thought to myself that it's more likely that the market is going to go up than it's going to go down. But basically, you see that basically through the whole European session, and basically from the beginning of the American session to the closing of the London session, the market was pretty much going sideways and not trending. So I took another attempt right here, basically like this. Well, yeah, something like this. So I thought to myself, yeah, we're gonna go there, but I even counted on more than this. Nevertheless, again, the market initially went in the other direction, then came back up. But after, on these three candles, it looked very promising, but then again it stopped. It halted, so I decided to get out. I got out. Then basically there could have been, there were pretty many opportunities right here for a short trade, but I wasn't paying. I mean, I wasn't watching the market. I simply wasn't there, so I wasn't watching this situation. However, if I had seen this situation, it became pretty much clear at this moment. Because why? Because we already have a sort of a head and shoulders. Well, a pretty flat one, but still a head and shoulders formation, and then the market is building lower highs and lower lows, right? So lower highs until here, lower lows until here. So basically the market is building something like this. Yeah, the market is building something like this, right? Something like this, and then the next line will be let's say right here. Yeah, no, not exactly like this, because we need to take those lows, right? Yeah, so the market is building something like this, and like this. No, shit, like this, be better if I put it here. Okay, it's building something like this, but then all of a sudden right here it's building another trend line, which is basically going upwards, right? So this is kind of something like this, right? So yeah, the market is building this kind of a formation. And then, well, you can look at it this way, you can look at it another way, like taking a trend line from here to over there. Anyways, you will see something that here is the break, right? And that's basically a break from this consolidation, because this thing right here is basically like a triangle or something like that. And yeah, and that's perhaps I'm not plotting it the way the traditional technical analysis teaches you. But yeah, that's the way I see it, right? That's the way I see it. So basically, there is a demand zone, but then there is a supply zone also here, and there's also a supply zone. There is still a demand zone right here, so they are kind of canceling each other out, and then all of a sudden the price is breaking down, so making another supply zone, and then there is little or no demand, and yeah, like no demand right there, and the price is moving down. Yeah, so that was an opportunity for a short. This is another opportunity for a short, somewhere right here. So basically, we have a trend, a pullback, and a break, and a retest, and yeah, you see it, right? So it's like a kind of zigzaggy thing. Yeah, and then the market pretty much plunged down. Now, was that possible to predict or not? Well, I'm gonna show you something. I've looked in my archives, and I've remembered my old tool, something that was it was derived from the idea of the DSWS, right? So the Dada's Secret Weapon Strategy, and then one of my friends had this idea. He asked me to, they were trying to write some kind of a code, but they weren't very good at it, so they gave me to check this out, and I corrected that for them. I introduced my own ideas, and then I built it up, and it came out. Well, this used to be my flag indicator once, right? It was associated with that version of the system. It was somewhere in 2015. That's why we have these labels right here with some kind of text. Yeah. Anyways, This indicator has lots of different options, lots of different tools inside one. So you see there is the DSWS ruler mode, there is the DSWS search mode, DSWS FIBO mode, all kinds of like diagonal modes, the DST diagonals. That was a very interesting idea, plotting not horizontal lines but diagonal lines. There is this funny snake mode. Well, lots of different things right here. Anyways, we can use the DCB50C2 mode, and so in the morning, since I was looking at the M15, right? So in the morning we had the bullish trend, right? So basically, I could be doing something like this, but of course this context does not fit. What doesn't it fit? It doesn't fit any previous context, right? So because let's say we don't see this, we don't see this. So if we don't see this, we got to find ourselves a context which fits best. So basically this would perhaps anyways, I could have done this. I mean, but I could have done this and then looked at my charts. But then again, when the price broke this level, then I should be looking for something like this, right? Because then the price is actually breaking the level. So basically, this is where the upward movement started. This pretty much fits pretty nicely. We can check by clicking on this candle, or perhaps we can even click on this candle to see which context fits better, right? So in this context, this fits pretty nicely. I mean, we can see that how the price was going along these levels, almost like going up the stairs and then coming down, finding the support again, and then again finding the support here, finding the support here. So basically, this was the proper context to be looking at in the morning. So now. So in the morning, right here, I would have been looking at this, right? I would have been looking at this, and now I can study my trades according to this. So basically, according to this, this short was absolutely a stupid idea, right? Because the market was after bouncing off the support level, going up and then finding another support level, or going towards the support level. So basically, even though I didn't see this support level, the price action showed me that there is a support, some kind of a support here. So that's why I got out, right? Now, was this long a good idea? No, it wasn't. Now, from this perspective, the price was at a resistance level, right? So, if the price is at a resistance level, I mean retesting the resistance level, the better idea would have been going short here, and then it would be short from here to this, somewhere around here, right? However, after the price had broken up, right? So exactly when I was watching this candle jumping up and down, because I had my trade open, basically I shouldn't have been watching this trade at all, but I should have been watching this candle until it ends, right? Until it closes. And when it had closed, I would have to make a decision to get in long here, at least up to there, right? If not up to there, I mean, you see that this take profit would have been taken out, and pretty quickly, right? So the price is still going up. I mean, it's consolidating right here. So was this long correct? Yeah, this long was correct. Perhaps the price that I went long here wasn't so good, right? Because a better price would have been somewhere along these lines, right? But still, it was below half price, so it was a good one. However, the take profit was too high. If I had put my take profit somewhere right there, that was a potential of 17, well, minimum 15 pips, right? But perhaps even 17, 18 pips, right there. That would have been correct. Yeah. Now, again, now we can see clearly that after bouncing off right there, the price broke through again and defended this level and started going up. So that's why that's basically why this trade worked out, because it basically it was correct, right? It was after breaking a support, a resistance level. At this level became support, and then the price went up. Now then the price went up to here and found resistance, right? So was this long good? Well, yes, I would say this long is. I mean, like I say, the only thing is that the price isn't so good, because basically, getting in at a better price would give me some opportunity or some room for more reaction, right? So even trailing the stop or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, if I had to lose it, then I had to lose it. Well, it doesn't matter, right? If I have to lose it, I have to lose it. Well, that's what happened right there. Yeah. Now, from this perspective, looking at this whole thing from this perspective, at this moment, I shouldn't be looking for longs anymore, right? Why? Because, like I said before, we have a sequence of lower lows and lower highs. So basically, at this moment, I have to go back to my M15 chart and now look for the previous resistance level, right? Either this one or perhaps even this one, because this one was a better one. I mean, it was actually the highest, where the highest price was. So basically, this context would have been good enough for me, because we see the reactions right there, we see the reactions right there, and then the price comes up here, and we are already after these candles, right? Because we are already on somewhere around there. So let's take a look at this one. I have to refresh, right? And all of a sudden we see that at this moment, this long was absolutely not a good idea at all, right? And neither was this one. Because the price was actually already in a bearish trend, only consolidating right here in a triangle, in a sort of a triangle, and then you can see that it started leaking out towards the bottom. So basically, this would have been this one, or the price didn't want to go back, so then this one would have been a good idea to go short, and now everything all of a sudden fits where it's supposed to fit. And perhaps even this one would have been a good idea to go short, because we have this price action of a breakdown, a slow retest, breakdown again, a slow retest, and then it started cascading, like a waterfall. So yeah, so what do we do if the price breaks like it's broken down right here, right? So basically the price is going down and is breaking the consecutive levels. Well, we have to switch time frames, and we have to look for a better context where the price is potentially heading to, right? Because yeah, that's basically the H4 context is a good context to look at. So we look at the H4 context. Of course, we do it on the way. If our previous measurement from the M15 was a smaller range, and the price is still breaking those levels and going lower, then we have to go to the nearest high, right, and check out if this is a context that fits well, or perhaps we could even check that one, right? So we check that one. Say, okay, maybe this is a bit too much because it doesn't fit pretty. It fits pretty much pretty well here, but not very well there. So basically, we should try this one. We should try this one a little bit, right? So basically, this is a pretty good one. Like I'm not saying that the price is gonna necessarily go all the way down here. No, that's not the idea. But anyways, we have these levels here because this is a pretty universal tool. So if you click it right there, it's pretty good. But if you can click it on the third candle in a sequence, and then you still have a good situation right here. Yeah, or another idea would have been to try it this way. Well, if it doesn't fit, maybe like this. Well, it doesn't fit. Well, we try this one. Okay, and now this one this one fits perfectly. We can see that the perfect match where the price is respecting these levels, right? Practically all of these levels, and it's respecting this level in a perfect manner. So now we can see we are at this level. Now, okay, we don't know. Maybe the price is going to go down, lower, or maybe it's going to bounce up. We don't know that, and that's not the idea to know, and it's not the idea to guess. It's the idea is to follow the price, right? So, yeah. So all of a sudden we have this context, and again in this same context, we are right here, right? In this same context, only the other way, all of a sudden we see what's going on here. I mean, the price was still going up right there, true, right? Still going up, but right there it found some support level, and this was only I don't know, a kind of a retest, a shakeout, or whatever it's called, and so basically the good idea was exactly right there. Look at it right now. Yeah, look at it right now. Right now it absolutely changes the view, right? It changes the view, and all of a sudden we can see what was happening here, right? So basically we see that the price did react right here, but we have to wait for this reaction. In other words, if we have a zone like this, we have to wait until we see if the price wants to break and continue up, or wants to break down, like right here, break down, and then find this as the actual support level, resistance right? Actual resistance level, and then all of a sudden we get bigger movements, right? So basically, the higher time frame you're going to measure it out from, the bigger gap you're gonna get to trade, right? So basically, then this idea is pretty much a very good idea to trade short, right? Because again, this candle is a supply zone. Yeah, this candle is a very good supply zone. And we have another supply zone over there, right? On a smaller context, but maybe we're not sure then, right? We're still not sure because we can say, okay, we have a supply, but we have a demand also, right? Yeah, but the demand is broken right there, right? The demand is broken right there. And then there is a retest, and there is a breakout again, and a retest, and yeah, right? So when the demand is broken in the other direction, then we have a situation of supply. Yeah, and then our all we have to do is just watch this price action on this resistance level, and decide to get in on a good price. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I think I have to go back and start using this analytical tool better again, because this is a very good analytical tool if you actually know how to use it. Because people are trying. So see what the idea is like this. If people are trying, and also myself, to create all kinds of indicators by using I don't know, patterns, specific patterns, dependencies between candles, different calculations of moving averages and stuff like that. But that doesn't really work. All those super signals and everything, I mean, yeah, all of a sudden sometimes they show correctly, at other markets they don't show correctly. The idea is that we traders, we have to adjust our tools to the conditions of the market, not the other way. We have to adjust them. So in other words, if we're looking here for a context that fits, well, it has to fit. One way or another, it has to be a fitting context, right? So if this is a fitting context, it also means something. But then we're getting pretty big gaps right here, and we are getting some kind of intermediate levels, right, between those. So basically, we could say, okay, so this context is perhaps a bigger one that we don't want to use, but we can look for another context, right? Say, okay, maybe this context is better, or maybe it's going to be like this, right? Why not? Maybe it's going to be like this, because then we see. This actually happened. This top right here is yesterday, right? Yeah, it was exactly yesterday. It was yesterday, and basically yesterday morning. So this top happened yesterday, and also this candle, this bearish candle, also happened yesterday. And if you look at it again, this bearish candle is exactly a bearish H4 candle is exactly a supply zone. It's a supply zone. There is no demand here. There are only small retests, right? With these wicks. So this is a completely naked, perhaps with a pair of socks, a completely naked supply candle, perhaps with a pair of socks on them, and nothing else, right? No demand. So basically, this is a pretty good context, because we see where these levels sort of come up to. I don't have any mechanisms here. So yeah, so basically we could then switch to this. Yeah, you see, and then I mean we're getting bigger zones, right? We're getting bigger zones. So basically in this context of bigger zones, we can also trade in between those lines right here, in between those levels, right? So we can trade in between those levels, and then from this context, yeah, you see that this trade was pretty reasonable still, huh? So we can, this one was I don't know, like I said, I was interpreting at that moment. I was interpreting it from the point of view of higher lows and higher highs. So for me, it was still a bullish trend. So that's why I got it. I got in this loan, and also right here, I was also more convinced of a bullish trend. I was basically my idea was that. Because the daily range at that moment was pretty low, I was thinking of them potentially making the 200 plus pips, right, in the bullish direction. But I was wrong. I mean, simply I was wrong. It doesn't matter what I'm thinking. It only matters. It basically matters that this was a high. This is another high, but this high is lower, right? So basically, and it's at some resistance level. So because it is at some resistance level, there's a high probability of the market going down. So yeah, in this context of those bigger zones, we could be waiting for this break, exactly for this break, and just taking this one short at the end of the day, and that's it, right? That's it. So so you see, the way of measuring the market is also pretty important, and requires some kind of expertise, right? And it's not like you're just gonna do it and it's always gonna work, right? Because those are also different contexts. I mean, depending on how big the zone is. I mean, if you're making a big zone like this, then this zone, like, you know, this zone is, let's measure it out, it's 240 pips, right? So so if the zone is 240 pips, then those in between those lines you have 60 pips, for example. Between those two lines you have 60 pips. In between those two lines there is 40 pips, right? So basically probably 40 here, 40 here, 40 there, 40 there, right? So basically from level to level. You know, some people say that classical technical analysis doesn't work. Other people say no, it works, it absolutely works. Well, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, it works, provided that you go you happen to do it in the right direction. If you do it in the other direction, it's not gonna work. So no, basically technical analysis doesn't work. Why? Because in order for something to work, we need it to be like a user's manual. If you can have a user's manual and you have specific rules in this user manual, and you always follow the user manual, then the tool you're using will always work in the same way, well, provided it doesn't break for some kind of external reason, yeah, like wear or whatever. So yeah, so it's always going to work like that. If you can show me such rules for the traditional technical analysis, and you can prove to me that it always works provided that I will always do what the manual says, then it will always work. Then you will have proven that technical analysis works. Otherwise, if it works sometimes but on other times it doesn't work, it means it doesn't work. Okay. I think I've been talking too long already. Yeah, thanks a lot for today. You have all the links below. Please like, please subscribe, please join my Discord channel, and please become my patron. All the links are below. Thank you very much for today. See you tomorrow. Bye.